everybody. Welcome. Thanks so much for coming out today. And we'll get started in, well, it is 11:30. I thought I still had a minute. So no, we will get started now. And if you would say hello over in the chat box, I love seeing these coming in. And I'm just asking, like, kind of what's your favorite fall thing? And, woke up this morning and it was like 50, 60 today. So I actually have a little baby fire going for us, and lots of fun things to kind of share with you all. And again, I just love knowing who's joining us today. Thank you, by the way, for doing this at such a weird time, 11:30 a.m. Eastern. Truth be told, I have a 1 o'clock ballet class that I simply cannot miss. And I wanted to be able to do chat with you guys if anyone had questions after the event. So we'll go from about 11:30 now until 12:15, 12:30. And then I'll hang on for the last 30 minutes, not in the Zoom chat, but over on the website chat, which you can find in the lower right corner, I think, of every page on the website. Anyway, that way I can answer any personal questions you might have. And of course, please know you can always email me. You can find me at kimberly@kimberlywilson.com. And I love kind of helping people figure out what pieces they might want. So today we're going to be going through all sorts of things with regard to building a capsule wardrobe, fall fashion, transitioning, etc. And before I say hello, I'll just go through kind of the agenda and let people continue to trickle in. Again, I know this is early. My goodness, you guys on the West Coast, God bless you. It is 8:30 in the morning. I'm so grateful. And again, I really appreciate you all joining me today, because as I was trying to figure this out, I literally for months been trying to find the right day to do this. And of course I wanted September because that's when we start thinking about fall, but there just wasn't a weekend in September available. And October's been pretty full. Like yesterday we had the virtual retreat. So I was like, well, let's just pile it all on. So I came up with this a few weeks ago. And so I really appreciate you guys diving in, because otherwise it would have been November. And I'm like, we're living fall fashion at that point, right? So thank you all so much again for being with me, and to Melinda and Barbara, our two TDJ aficionados that will be with us also here today and sharing a few of their favorite ways to wear the capsule. Now, I'd just like to share for anyone who may be new who I am. So I am a psychotherapist here in Washington, D.C. in private practice, and I have been doing this clothing line since 2002. And so 19 years now. And it was originally Tranquility, because it started out with t-shirts and yoga pants. And then it's transitioned to all sorts of different wraps and dresses and things along those lines. And so I'm delighted to be here with you today. I know some of you have been longtime aficionados of the clothing line, so I can't thank you enough for your support. And I will also say that our beloved seamstress Renee is going to be joining us today, and she's just going to be hanging back. But big shout out to Renee, who is amazing, local. Renee, I think I've been working with you for maybe 15-ish years now, and cannot express my gratitude more. So I host a weekly podcast for anyone who may be interested. Just my last one was all about kind of fall fashion, and just some various things I've been mentioned in. And I've been teaching, studying, and trying to live the idea of more tranquility in the everyday. And so that's who I am. Thank you for being here. All right, so here is the agenda. All right, so welcome, which is clearly what we'll be doing in a moment. We're going to be talking about style. So why is style a tenet of TDJ? Some people, I'll be leading a workshop or a retreat, and people will be like, what's style, on the wheel of life, where I ask people to kind of consider what style is for them. And I always just like to tell people, it doesn't have to be your clothing. It doesn't have to be your outerwear. It's the way in which you show up in the world. And so I'll talk a little bit about why that is important. I'll talk about some fall trends and ways to transition your summer wear into your fall wear. And then I will also, so make sure you can see the fire because it's so lovely. This is my first fire here of the season. So such a treat to be doing it live with you. share just a smidgen about the TDJ story and also go over the fabrics, customization, things along those lines. And then we're going to get into the capsule wardrobe and the ways to mix and match, things along those lines, things how to build your own capsule wardrobe. I'll be doing a little show and tell, which you can probably see behind me are some pieces that I will be showcasing. A few new looks, right? Some new pieces that came in. You saw some of them in the spring. The others came in during the summer and are now available. And so I'll showcase those. You're going to meet the TDJ aficionados, Barbara and Melinda. Melinda, you also see all over the website, modeling the line. And a special surprise at the end. So on Friday, I'm on Instagram and I see something that I'm like, oh my gosh. So I texted Renee, I'm like, don't hate me. Do you think you could have this by Sunday morning? So anyway, it's this beautiful new piece that I'm going to be showcasing here. So you guys are the first to see it. And so anyway, she whipped it together in like 2 days, which is amazing. So that's my special surprise that I've kind of already ruined, but you don't know what it is yet. And then we'll close and kind of then I'll transition into chat for anyone, again, who has questions. Again, not on Zoom, but you feel free to ask them throughout today, but I'll be transitioning over to the chat on the website. All righty. So I hope that sounds like a fun experience for you all. All right, so let me head on over into the chat box and just say a few hellos. And again, I won't get to everyone because I know you guys have a lot to do today and I don't want to just spend the whole time reading the chat box, but I do just want to say a few hellos. And I love knowing where you're tuning in from. I think Jackie may be the furthest from the UK, Ellen, New York, Cindy, California. So we have the gamut. It's very early for Miss Cindy. Anne from Alberta, Kathy, Melinda, layering. It's layer, layer, layer. Layers and boots. Love this. Yes. Priscilla, Pacific Northwest, more Pacific Northwest. I love it. Newport Beach. But don't stop me from wearing all black. Kathleen, I hear ya. Barbara, layers and boots. There's lots of layers. I hear you. Cozy socks. Yes. Oklahoma. Hello, Renata. And cardigans. Beautiful. Wonderful. Hello, Gina from Pittsburgh. Tammy from Seattle. Wonderful. Well, thank you all so much for being here. Really, really appreciate it. And if you have questions throughout, please don't hesitate to put in a chat box and I'll just kind of take a peek from time to time. And if I miss anything, then I will definitely get back to you later because I'll go through the chat after our event. All right. So TDJ style tenant. Let's just talk like why? What is this and why is it important? Okay, so here's how I pulled it together with regard to the 5 tenets of TDJ. And when I say TDJ, I don't mean the clothing line TDJ. I mean tranquility du jour as like a lifestyle, right? So how do we find more tranquility in the everyday? And the 5 tenets are compassion, creativity, wellness, mindfulness, and style. Okay, so this is what I wrote about style in general. So we know that how we present ourselves affects how we feel and tells a story. We choose a signature style that is personal, reflects who we are. Our personal and professional spaces are designed to nourish our spirits. We are moved by the arts, flowers, and simple pleasures. You guys, I got up so early this morning running around to try to find hydrangeas, which you can see just on the edge of this table over here, and fire logs, because I was like, I have to have a good setting. And so it's funny how these things are so important, really in affecting our mood, which I will talk about in a moment. So again, this is how I define style. Now, Carolyn Mayer, who wrote a book that I have up here, The Psychology of Fashion, she says we use fashion and clothing to shape and change our identity, to announce who we are. So thinking about for you, whenever you put on something that you feel really great in, how are you shaping your identity and announcing who you are to the world? And you know what? It's not just fashion and clothing. It is the way you write your email, right? It is the way in which you decorate your home. It is the way in which you send snail mail. It is the way in which you communicate body language, etc., with others, right? This is all our style and a way for us to announce who we are. Here's the lovely Melinda. So Carolyn Mayer, again from Psychology of Fashion, she says, when we wear clothes that also make us feel good, our stress levels are further reduced. Who knew? The benefits of this are both physical and psychological. And then one other quote that I love, and this is from Robin Gibbon, who writes for the Washington Post here in DC. When we go out into the community, our clothes allow us to have our say without ever opening our mouths. Fashion is a form of communication that's both intimate and aloof. Without ever uttering a word, you stand behind your message because you are, in fact, wearing it, right? So what is your message when you think about the way in which you show up in the world, right? I just love that. I think it's such a wonderful way to, think about the importance of this, right? And that it's not just like, oh, frivolous, it really is about showcasing who we are and how we want to be seen. Okay, so if you all have any thoughts or questions about that, please put them in the chat box. And until then, I'm going to move right on into fall trends. And I hope that just sheds a little bit of light on why style is one of the tenets and why it's important, or it can be important to some. There's also another book that I have up here that's written by a local therapist years ago. You are what you wear, what your clothes reveal about you. So again, just interesting, right? As we think about what we're putting out into the world by simply the way in which we get ourselves together in the morning. Okay, so fall trends, one shoulder dresses, puffy fluttery sleeves. So I've got a few things that are new to the collection, new-ish over the past few months, that are the puffy sleeves. But one thing that I saw all over Paris, I was in Paris in early September, flutter sleeves. So really, if you're like, what is a flutter sleeve? So it's just small little like chiffon, or we could do it in bamboo, kind of layered pieces kind of around like the sleeves or even the collar. Okay, blazers. A black blazer was everywhere in Paris. I was really blown away, and it was kind of like the oversized boyfriend type, but blazers really, really big and worn with everything, right? Dresses, skirts, shorts, pants, jeans. Of course, wide leg pants. It's funny, I saw was it an article, something this past week that was like, how we know you're like not a Gen, oh, I forget, like what are the really young ones, like below millennials? I can't remember. Anyway, it was like how we know you're not one of those. And it was like, because you wear skinny jeans and you have a side part. And I thought it was so funny. I was like, okay, apparently for the youngins, wide leg jeans is the thing, and part down the middle is the thing. Who knew? Long skirts. So this was interesting. I saw tons and tons of long skirts in Paris, and particularly lots of printed ones. So that was just, surprising, worn with tennis shoes, everything, you name it. Silky, kind of satiny fabrics were pretty popular. Okay, I saw faux leather shorts everywhere. Like, what? But it was, so they were very cute, and I saw them at all the windows. And anyway, who knew? So a fun fall thing, because of course you can wear with tights and boots also. High-waisted jeans, right? So not even just the wide-legged, but the high-waisted also. And then of course a face mask. That is our kind of ongoing accessory du jour, right? At least in DC, we have a mask mandate again. It went back into effect into July, at least with regard to when you enter public spaces, right? And it was the same way in Paris. If you entered into a store or you walked into the restaurant until you were eating, drinking, always having a mask. All right, now if you are transitioning to fall, and you've got your favorite summer pieces, right? You've got your spaghetti sleeve dress, you've got your sleeveless dress, you've got your short skirts, you've got shorts. I mean, things that are just more warm weather pieces. How can you take those into fall so you don't have to have a whole new wardrobe? You don't have to get rid of things. You don't have to put things away. That's why I'm all about layers. And that's why I really love this line, because, you know, I have the same wardrobe year round. The only thing that's different is I'll pull out a faux fur coat or, you know, something in scarves, right? So think layers, layers, and more layers. And from what you all mentioned in the chat box early on, that is something that you all like about fall. I'm adding boots, and I've got on short boots, which I'll show you in a moment, but also tall boots with short skirts and with dresses. So adding a sweatshirt. We have a sweatshirt that I just love and live in this time of the year. And they're so cozy. And it also has thumb holes, which I think are really lovely. Of course, long sleeves, turtlenecks. And I love our turtleneck because I lengthened the neck of it so that it can be even like kind of like a gaiter, or it could, you know, serve as a face mask of sorts, but even like a gaiter, so that when you're out and about, it's chilly. It's like you can pull it up and it's not just your neck, but it's also like this part that is nice and toasty. And those are cute. Turtlenecks worn over sleeveless items, or of course under sleeveless items. Cardigans. We have a cardigan that Miss Tammy asked for years ago. We call it the boyfriend cardigan, and that's been a really popular piece. I joked with Tammy that I may even call it the Tammy, because it's such a lovely piece, and it's just like a big kind of oversized cardigan that has pockets in the front, blazers, and chunky sweaters. So add that over your summer looks, and voila, you're ready to transition into a cooler day, a cooler season. Chunky scarves. I love, love, love scarves. And I have just a few to show you today, but kind of like the bigger chunky is really nice. Or you just take a thin one and you wrap it a few times around your neck. And then adding tights or socks with sandals. So you can keep those sandals going for a bit, at least here in DC. You know, it depends, of course, where you are. Those of you in Canada may be different, but being able to keep wearing those open-toed shoes, but then just have a little sock or a tight under it. So those are some tips and suggestions as we think about, okay, how do I take my summer looks that I still love and I want to wear, but pull them into this time of the year? All right. So let me just head down into the chat box before I go into talking a little bit about TDJ in general. All right, so let's see. Wide leg pants. I still love the gauchos. Any chance they could come back into the regular offerings? So this is a great question, Tammy. And I had somebody reached out to me who purchased some items at the yoga studio in like 2007 or 8. And she's like, I love these pieces. Can I still get them? Okay, if we have the pattern for an old piece, former, we will make it for you, no problem. So even if I pulled it from the collection for now, please know, if you had it before, we can do it again. And the only time that, like this woman, she sent me photos of it, and it was a jumpsuit and I think a jumpsuit and a wrap. Well, we've adjusted the wrap so much and the jumpsuits over the years. I said, can you mail it to me? We'll duplicate it, because I know we have the pattern for it. I'm just not sure what style it is, just looking from the photos. And then we'll ship it all back to her. So just so you know, that's one of the beautiful things Renee is so great about, that she can, you know, I mean, hey, we have the patterns. We have all of our patterns. And it's just sometimes, was it like the cardi wrap where I added additional length or shortened the sleeve, right? So we tweak patterns over the years. And so sometimes I don't know, but the gaucho, I think we've only had one major one, or more recent one. So Tammy, just know, can totally do that for you. And Kathy, boyfriend cardigan, one of my favorite pieces. Kathy, you can thank Tammy for that. And the perfect color, you're the best. And I love the circle skirt you made for me, Sandy. Yeah, and so Sandy, that circle skirt was pretty popular a couple years ago, but Sandy, I think, had come across it in some fashion and was like, can you make it for me? I don't see it on the website. I'm like, absolutely. So no problem. And we whipped up a circle skirt for her. So that's the beautiful thing, is I do not have inventory stocked here. Neither does my seamstress. She has fabric, rolls of fabric. And so every order that comes through the system is made to order. And speaking of which, I just wanted to mention, because this is kind of a big deal, is that you guys get 20% off the collection between now and the 20th, which, what are we? We're on the 17th. So through the 20th, and the code is TDJ Style, all caps. Okay, and I'll remind you of that at the end, but I just wanted to make sure you knew, because that's a big perk of being here today. All right, so TDJ, this is just a few things of, you know, where it began, which I mentioned, t-shirts, yoga pants, and then how it's just evolved. And the thing about it is I really wanted something that I could wear to my yoga classes and then also run around town, but not feel like I was in exercise wear. And so that's really where the whole concept of the collection came about. And then it has a little bit about us and, you know, an award we got in 2010 that was very exciting. It was so funny because when they even called my name, the clothing line name, to go up and receive the award, like, I didn't realize I'd won. For some reason, I thought like, oh, I'm first runner up or something. And they were like, no, you won. And I forget what it was, but it was like best emerging something. Anyway, it was an honor. But I had to be nudged to know that it was actually, we won. And so, you know, it's fun too to see the line. It's very small. It is really artisanal, and it's fun to see the loyal following we've had over the years, and then the little bits and bites of press we've gotten. So many of you know we went completely noir a year ago. Now I do have a few yards, just a few yards of various colors that I will show you, and you can have any of these pieces made in. Okay, so any of the pieces that are in the bamboo fabric, right? Not in the kind of thicker noir or the fleece, except for au natural, which I'll show all that in a moment. But just, you know, we have gone completely black, and we're going to stay that way just because these 10 reasons, which you can read on your own, it's in your workbook. And if for any reason you didn't see the workbook or you missed it in the emails, if you go back in and sign up again for this event, KimberlyWilson.com/TDJ-style, you'll get an auto email that will send you the workbook. Okay, just in case you missed it. You should have gotten an email at 9:30 today that sent it again, but just in case, sometimes things get caught in spam. But anyway, this just shares, this is why we went noir. And honestly too, I mean, between you and me and Kathleen, and I know Ileana, there's a few out there who mainly wear black. It just is easy. It makes everything easy. And it's funny, I read recently, or actually I think it was a friend of mine, Carol, who told me that there was a statement because she was having her colors done that black was considered overwhelming. I was like, it's so interesting because I feel overwhelmed in color, right? It's overwhelming to me, color. And I feel underwhelming in noir, kind of like I blend into the background. And there's something about that I really like. So anyway, oh, and I think that even there's a quote here, George O'Keeffe, there's something about black you feel hidden away in it. I see you and hear you, George O'Keeffe. So anyway, that is why we've gone noir, but I do have a few yards of various colors, which I will showcase in a bit. I also like to share, okay, what are the fabrics? So we have 3 fabrics. Noir, which is bamboo noir. This is what the majority of the collection is made in. So it's 95.5. It's what I'm wearing now. It has the drape, right? Even the dress that's hanging up, you can see that one on the mirror. That is the maxi wrap dress drape, right? Now, the thicker noir is what like the blazer comes in, the capri leggings, mainly the pants. I don't think I do any tops, no tops at all in thicker noir. And but the great thing about the thicker noir is it has some organic cotton, and that's what gives it the structure. All right, now the fleece, I love. What's crazy is I wear the fleece pants throughout summer, even. It's like, and I'm always wearing the 2-in-1 fitted. So it's like, it's like 90 degrees. I'm in the fleece pants because they're just so freaking yummy. Now, the fleece comes in a few of the pants, as I just mentioned, and then also in the sweatshirt and a few of these dresses too, the newer dresses, which I'll show you. And I just always like to mention this in case people are curious, because the fabrics are somewhat delicate, but they hold up really, really well. So you want to machine wash cold, tumble dry low, although I do know people that lay theirs flat, which I think is really, really kind and considerate to the fabric. I throw all of mine into the dryer. So just so you know, however you prefer, I do like to machine wash cold for these items. You don't have to, but I do think it's helpful. The other thing I want to mention, this dress that's hanging on the mirror is long, right? It's a maxi dress. It is heavy. I mean, it definitely weighs a few pounds. So heavy pieces, we do not want to hang up because the bamboo grows, right? So you'll notice after you wear a piece, it stretches a little, and then you put it in the wash dryer, comes right back to shape. And it's the spandex, right? And that's what makes it so yummy, because it stretches. But I would never, ever, I just did this for today's event, hang that up. What I do is if I do hang it, I pick up the bottom part and wrap it over the top of the hanger so that all that weight and bulk isn't at the bottom. Okay, so I just want to mention that. Now, all the other pieces that are hanging here, totally fine. But this dress is heavy and it's so decadent. All right, so size chart. I just want to go over this briefly too, because sometimes people are like, I'm in between different sizes. So most pieces come in extra small to extra large. Those are your options. We have a few items that are small, medium, or medium large. So this is kind of what that typically looks like in the size chart. Now, there's the mention of the fabrics again and the care. What I also want to mention is from a customization perspective. So say, the inseam is 30 on a pair of pants and you're a little bit on the petite side and you want an inseam of 27. That is not a problem. We can always do that. You would just put in the notes section, inseam 27, please, whatever. Or I want to add pockets to something. We can definitely do that. Just know though, customized pieces are not exchangeable or returnable because I can't repurpose those. So if you buy anything from the collection as is, you can always exchange, you can always return. I always want to make sure you get exactly what you need. But if you customize it in any way, just so you know that then it's not, okay? And it says that all over the website, but I just wanted to mention that. Sometimes people want to add pockets into dresses, right? Or pockets into pants. And then if they're like, oh, that doesn't work, then there's nothing that I can do with that. So, and I just want to make sure that these items aren't just tossed, right? So just so you know, customize the hell out of things, whatever you would like, but please know that the customized pieces or the orders of pieces that we had in 2006, that those are not exchangeable. Okay, so, but that just gives you an idea. Also, I like to mention, I tend to design things, and Renee will make them long bodies and longer pants, right? So it's easy to trim for inseams or what have you, but you can't add length. So that's why we tend to do that. And it also gives a nice flowy effect, right? If you think of something like the Palazzo Pant. And this is just a little bit about our philosophy that I thought might be interesting to some of you is First of all, donate to Pigs and Pugs Project, which is a nonprofit that I'm the president of, and we give money to pig sanctuaries, pug rescues, and yesterday's virtual retreat. Thank you to those of you who supported and were with us for that. We raised $500, so I'll give two $250 micro grants to 2 organizations that I'll announce shortly. We're a member of 1% for the Planet. We're locally sewn. As I mentioned earlier, the lovely Renee, each item is made to order. Again, when you purchase an item, that goes into the queue. We use eco-friendly fabrics, which I think you know. We ship in compostable mailers. So this is something we started this year, and I love it. It's like, it says, I think it even says on the package, worm food. And then plant 1,000 trees per year. All right, so what is a capsule wardrobe? All right, and let me just jump into the chat box real quick. And can we get samples of the fabrics you offer? Sure, email me and we can send you little swatches. Black makes me feel like a canvas. Yes, Kathleen, I love that. Saved for 2 years to buy some of the TDJ clothing, just purchased the capsule wardrobe, loving it. Oh, I'm so glad, Priscilla. You can work with 2 different sizes next to each other for either a loose and flowy oversized fit or more fitted. Yes, Tammy, thank you. Yeah, because the fabric has the stretch. Love that. Yeah, you know, because sometimes, you know, you want like a boyfriend type thing, you know, big and fitted, whereas other times you want something that is, I mean, big and flowy. Then other times you want something that's more fitted. So I tend to wear the more fitted and then I put the flowy over it. All right, so what is a capsule wardrobe? So it's a collection of essential and versatile pieces. So what I'm going to show today is our 8-piece capsule wardrobe and just some ways to kind of work with that. And then for you, thinking about in your life, how would a capsule wardrobe help you? And a capsule wardrobe, just so you know, it can be anywhere from 5, 10 pieces to there's project 333, you know, 33 pieces, you know, 50 pieces, right? There's no right or wrong answer, but the idea is how can I reduce decision fatigue in the morning, crystallize my personal style, save time and money, and make sure that all the pieces work together. So here's how we get started. And I like to just show page 80 from Year of Tranquility, which is my most recent book. I have a whole piece on how to clear and review your closet. Now, most of you probably know how to do it. It's just the doing it. That's the hard part, right? So that's where we start, because it's always nice to know, okay, what do I have? And I tend to, once or so a year, just take everything out of the closet and pile it onto the bed. It's usually a bit chaotic. I do have photos from the recent kind of declutter that I did where there's just piles of stuff everywhere, and I've got Gizmo who's lying next to me on top of it, like going, what the hell, you know? So it's a bit chaotic, so you want to make sure you have some time for that. Create the foundation, right? So for me, foundation is black. For you, you know, going monochromatic of sorts with dabs of print is really nice. But for you, it might be like, maybe you're more navy, maybe you're more a crew, maybe you like different shades of blues or reds, I mean, whatever. So you just think about, okay, what is my foundation for the capsule? And then again, you want to highlight versatility. So it's always nice to look at your pieces and see if you can make different outfits out of them, right? Without having to have a bunch of different pieces, right? We want things that work together. And then enhance with accessories, which I have pulled out quite a few just to show you of how you can dress things up or down. I mean, really, if you have a basic, like a crew, black, you know, whatever wardrobe, accessories help dress it up and dress it down, and also just give you different looks with your pieces. I mean, they really are like a very inexpensive way to enhance and expand your outfits. All right, create a capsule. So here's a whole thing on how to do your own. And then some ideas for wardrobe staples, right? So from the little black dress to black pants, black tank top. Now, again, if you're doing a crew, you can, just substitute black with that. Black pencil skirt, black scarf wrap. So these are just some great kind of staples if you think of like the backbone of your wardrobe, right? And again, you just substitute black with another color if that's more you. And then what you want to do with your workbook, it's helpful to go through and write out your favorite pieces, maybe list them 1 through 15, your 15 favorite pieces, the pieces you go to. Because the data shows, you guys, this is crazy, that we wear only about 20% of what is in our closet. So every day I go straight to my uniform, which is the 2-in-1 fitted and the capri legging. Like that is just my go-to year round. And then, I'll add layers, or maybe I'll put on a different pant from time to time. But, it's like, I never really have to think about it, which is lazy, but also very, very handy. And then say you have your top like 15 in that left-hand column. Well, then you mix and match them, right? So you're like, oh, if I pair 1 with 5, then I've got this look. If I pair 1 plus 2 plus 10, then I've got this like whole other look. So that's the idea on how to utilize this worksheet. And then also up in the upper right-hand corner is your accessories. Like what are your kind of go-to pieces that will allow you to shift the look of things? And as you see, I have some ideas for that down towards the bottom of this page, again, with ideas on various ways, various accessories and various ways to work with them. Particularly, like I've got a scarf over there, and I'll just show you the different things you can do with a scarf. Accessories. Okay, so I know you all know what accessories are, but I had a little too much fun pulling this together. But the idea of like, okay, from shoes to brooches. Ileana mentioned recently an event we had for the annual program. She loved brooches, right? So brooches, and brooches kind of on the bamboo fabric, at least a lot of the brooches I have, they would be too heavy. So it's something you could add to your outerwear or add to our blazer, that's nice and structured. Of course, red lipstick, love red lipstick, little French market bags whenever you're going to the farmer's market, scarves, hats, necklaces, etc. Right? So that is the idea on ways to utilize different items, little small pieces, little treasures. And some of these can be things that you pick up while you travel, or they're family heirlooms, particularly things like brooches. And then highlighting versatility. So whenever I was in Paris, I did a shoot because Melinda and I have done a few shoots over the past couple of years that are really great to show these different pieces pulled together in a look, but it's with a white background, which is lovely. But I wanted to also show kind of out and about. And so in your workbook, there's a bunch of different looks, right? So this wrapped in joy piece, what I have over as my wrap is I have my uniform on, and then I have the Shavasana Throw just pulled across my shoulders and then belted with a little belt. And then the lower right is boyfriend tank that Barbara's going to talk about today, Palazzo Pants. And then above it is boyfriend tank with capri legging and a little scarf, right? So just showing there's different ways to take these very basic pieces and shift them. This is the 8-piece capsule. And you'll see on the far right, number 4, that's what I'm actually wearing today. Is my uniform. Number 1 is that look, but then I have over it, I've got the long sleeve or the wrap tunic and with a belt. So there's just different ways, right, that you can take these pieces. If you go down to piece number 7, the maxi skirt dress, Barbara came up with the idea of you can wear that as a cape. You just put your head through it and then you have like a cape. I was like, oh my gosh, that's genius. I would never have thought of that. So it's fun to see what other people come up with different ways to wear these pieces and these looks. Now, in your workbook, these pieces are all described And they're also, of course, over on the website. And then I have some little tips for you in the pink box. And then now I'm going to transition into show and tell. Before I do, just to see, are there any questions? Yes, the fabric works well with curves. I love enhance and expand your wardrobe. Right, Ludie? Because the thing is, this fire is like toasty. It's so nice to have a fire. But the thing is like, how can we dress with less, right? We don't need much stuff. So how can we take what pieces we have and really do a lot more with them, right? So that's the idea. So I'm glad that that resonates with you. All right, so I'm going to stop the screen share so that I can go over and instead show you some pieces. Okay. Let me move this little chair out of the way. Okay. So first of all, I mentioned, let me see if I can get my head in this. I mentioned that I had some colors. And I just wanted to pull this out, and I have to say a big thank you to Carol, because for an event a while back, she pulled together these darling little chalkboard signs with her gorgeous handwriting. So just an idea. So ballet, which is so lovely, very much a ballet color. We have 5 yards left. Okay, so if you wanted any of the pieces that come in the bamboo noir, then you could get it in ballet. While it lasts, right? So heather, which is this color, it's a heather gray. We have 15 yards left. En naturel, which is undyed bamboo. So I have to say, it is so freaking soft. I mean, not that all these fabrics aren't soft, but there's something about the en naturel being undyed that is like, oh my goodness. Peach, 40 yards. Celadon, just a tiny bit left, 12. We have about 50 yards of this, which is called sky blue. Orchid, 10 yards. Rose, 35. And the navy ecru stripe is 20 yards. And then the last one I want to mention is the en naturel fleece. So anything that comes in fleece, I have, let's see, what do we have? Like 50 yards, because I bought an additional roll of it before I went en naturel, or before I went noir. And it is, again, undyed fleece, which is organic bamboo, organic cotton. It's kind of to die for. I actually tend to make a lot of friends who have babies, little baby blankets in it. It is the softest thing ever. So any of the fleece pieces, if you wanted that, then that would be an option. Okay, so again, I just like to show, because these are what we call, and it's the horrible name, but it's called dead stock, right? So it's fabric that you're no longer using for a collection. And so how can, we allow you to get things in color if you would indeed like that. All right, so I just wanted to show that and give an idea on a few options. All right, so let me show you. What I'm going to start with is some of the newer pieces. Okay, so this is the Crisscross Midi. Now, some of you know the Trey Tunic from freaking 2006 that I've brought back and then shifted and done as a maxi and then brought back, and now I did it as a midi, but you may remember it kind of being this length. And it's just a really, really sweet piece. So that's called Crisscross Midi. And here's the puffy sleeve. This is the puffy sleeve dress. Those of you who know the shift dress or remember that from a while back, that is exactly what this is, but just made with puffy sleeves. And this is in fleece. You can get it in fleece or thicker noir because you want a little bit more structure. All right, here is the puffy sleeve top. And that gives you an idea. It's got the little puff. It's got the nice little sweatshirt crew neck, and then the bottom binding, which is really sweet. All right, here is the cape. And the cape is lovely. So we've done a few capes over the years. And this one has armholes in it. And what's nice about this too is you can pull this up over your head or just have it as a cowl neck. Again, it's just called the cape. but it is a lovely piece. It's like somewhat dramatic, I think, and yet really cozy too. It's almost like you're wearing a blanket. All right, so those are the new pieces in addition to this, which is the Maxi wrap dress. You guys look at this. So it is our wrap dress, but just taken to the floor. And it is so gorgeous. It's really, really a very, very stunning piece. I took that on our 5.5-week road trip. And I only wore it a few times, but it was one of those things where when I did, I just felt really, really lovely in it. And, you know, again, it's really dramatic. Okay, so here is the 8-piece capsule wardrobe. And this is the maxi skirt dress, right? So it gives you an idea. It's nice and long, which you can see probably my little boots peeking out. But as I mentioned, Barbara said, put this over your head, you've got a little cape. And then of course you can also wear it as a sleeveless or strapless dress. So in the workbook, you'll see me wearing this as a dress, as a strapless dress, at a cafe, and then walking around those little black and white columns. See, this is what I'm wearing, the wrap tunic. All right, so I got it on over my uniform, which is 2-in-1 fitted capri legging, and then I just have it belted. But there's multiple ways to wear this piece, and I'll just show a few because this is it's a great piece for travel. So what I like to do with one of them, take it, pull it across the body, tie it in the back, right? I love that. I'll often start my ballet class even like that. You can also take and twist and then pull them back, right? And then you can also just let it hang or over the shoulder. So I love this piece. I just think it's somewhat, again, like dramatic but cozy and wonderful for travel. Capri legging, which I'm wearing, I live in these. Boyfriend tank, Barbara's going to talk about and show ways to wear. And what's great about this piece too is you can knot it, and then you get a more fitted look, because you may be like, I don't want something big and flowy. It's called boyfriend, right? Because it's oversized. But you take it, you knot it, and you've got a really cute, kind of more fitted piece. Okay, the 2-in-1 fitted, which is what I have on under this. This is like a go-to. Do you see how long the body is? So that's what I mean whenever I make the bodies long and the sleeves long. Because, you know, I just push the sleeves up, but if I'm chilly, it's easy to pull the fitted sleeve down, right? And then you've got, it goes down quite a bit, which is just nice. I don't know, it's cozy. It's like wearing like swaddle, being swaddled, wearing like a big hug. The Palazzo Pants, which, you know, wide leg trousers are popular. And these are really just so great year round. Again, to dress up with heels down with flip-flops. And then this piece, which is the wrap dress. So it's this, but it's in a shorter version, right? So this hits until it hits like just a little around the knee. But one thing that's great about this, and I have on the website the different ways to tie it. So this is kind of traditional, which is just, you know, you pull it through the hole and you tie it. One thing Melinda showed in the last pop-up is making it kind of one shoulder, but you can also pretend I have on the wrap dress, you take the ties and you twist them and you pull it across, and then you've got kind of like a lower cut look, and it just kind of tights, it's nice and tight and fitted around the waist. And you can also reverse this. So you turn it around, voila, and you have a high neck and a low back. And then last but not least is the Shavasana Throw. And this is just a lovely piece for, it's just a lot of fabric, right? You can wear it so many different ways, around the neck a few times, around the shoulders. You saw in that one photo that I mentioned, around the shoulders with a belt. Whenever you're out and about and it's drizzling, as it was last night here, I like to do something along this line. And so, yeah, this is just a great piece. Again, wonderful for travel. Back in the day, I will confess, I used to put my pug on my lap on the airplane and hide him under this blanket so that nobody knew he was on my lap and I wouldn't get in trouble. But then he would be happy because he wouldn't be sad in his bag. So this was like my go-to kind of travel piece. I go to my hide Louis lap blanket. And then let me just show a few accessories, and then we're going to hear from the lovely Melinda and Barbara. Oh, and from a shoes perspective, I just wanted to show too the variety of shoes, right? So I've got like these tall, like vegan boots. These are just kind of fun, like gold, funky, fun boots. And then these were my birthday present. They're SJPs. But you know, you can wear these in the fall and winter too. You wear it with a tight or you wear it with a little sock. So these, if you think about it, like what different looks it creates, or even these little booties in this wardrobe. All right, so one thing I wanted to show, because I had mentioned about customization. So I customized these pants. So you guys have probably seen the crop pant, which is basically just the palazzos, but shorter. So I got it in fleece and had pockets added, right? So it doesn't come with pockets. So I had pockets added and I got it in fleece. And I love these. They're so yummy. And as you can see, nice wide leg. So that's an idea on customizing. You look at a piece, you're like, okay, I can get it in these two fabrics. I'll choose that one and I'm going to add pockets, or I'm going to remove pockets or whatever. Or I'm going to get it for my inseam, which is longer or shorter. I also like to take tall socks and put them over my uniform and then wear, like, say, a little open-toed shoe with it. And then I have a wrap that covers down to my knees, say the wrap dress. And then nobody knows I'm wearing my uniform because I'm always comfortable in it. But, you know, these kind of substitute as tights. And they're just over the knee socks. I also love these. I thought these were really fun. They're fishnet, just little socks. And again, with the open-toed shoe. So taking your typical little neckerchief. So of course you can do around the neck. You can do around the neck twice. I like this. You can tie it around your wrist. You can tie it around your handbag. You can put it in your hair, right? Or even around front. So just to give you some ideas on ways to use your basic little square scarf. And then I just have another one, and this is what I was wearing in the shoot. This is just a vintage one that I picked up at some Paris bin for like €2. Of course, this is our fall scarf that we have from last season, and there's many ways to wear this. You can pull it around a few times. You can tie it in a bow. You could even kind of wear it as a belt. So again, just gives you some ideas on ways to work with them. I love these just little basic belts. And again, I've even done it with this outfit, just my little uniform. And this just kind of breaks up the black a little bit, and especially cute with like leopard boots, right? Like super simple. And these I just got at a thrift store. This is a hat from many, many years ago. And, you know, adding a hat, again, can dress up or dress down things, keep you nice and cozy in the winter months. I mentioned earlier, brooches for sunglasses, love sunglasses, and just long necklace, right? So if you think about it, with this dress, the maxi skirt dress, you know, with like a nice long necklace. So again, just some ideas, okay, on how do we take our basic black ensemble and transform them with your everyday accessories. So those are the pieces that I wanted to show. Now, let's head on over and see if you've got any questions. And then we're going to hear from Barbara, Melinda, and then I'm going to show you my little surprise finale piece. And then we'll wrap up. So thank you guys so much for being here. What are the body and link sleeves on the 2-in-1 fitted? It varies by sizes. And Jean, if you send me an email, I'm happy to ask my seamstress. I don't have them off the top of my head. Okay, tell us again what you're wearing and bring the fabrics closer to the camera. Sorry, Ellen. Okay, all right, so let's hear from Miss Barbara, and let me just introduce Barbara. She's been living in her TDJ capsule wardrobe since 2007 and loves looking her best while designing large-scale knowledge solutions for global audiences. She's been a guest on the podcast twice and back to share how to make your boyfriend tank your BFF, especially in spending more time at the office. Let me pin the lovely.
Hi, Kimberly, can you hear me?
Yes.
All right, well, welcome to my closet. I'm going to talk about just things that I have from Tranquility, and I'm going to focus on the boyfriend tank. I work in an office, and so this is not something I typically wear on its own, but I wear it a lot. In fact, I've had it in many colors over the years. I customize almost everything, but this item is right off the shelf. So the first way that I will be wearing it as I go more and more to the office is how I've always worn it, which is like a scarf. So I typically head off in the morning, put on a jacket like this one, and I just wear my boyfriend tank right over the 2-in-1 and whatever I have on the bottom like a scarf. I ride my bike or I take the bus, so I don't want to have a lot of layers on. When I get to work, I like to have a little bit of sort of cover. And so I'll just take my boyfriend tank off, and I've got some choices because there's a low front or a high front, depending on which way I wear it. I usually wear it with the low front in the front, the way you're supposed to, because I wear my 2-in-1 backwards so that I've got a low back. At work, I get chilly. The boyfriend tank gives me coverage down here. So I have an interesting line where the boyfriend tank is just a little shorter than my 2-in-1. I have a little more coverage down here, so I'm not so form-fitted at work. I have a little coverage in the back so that my shoulders don't get too cold. And my jewelry often looks interesting because I've got 2 different layers in the front. So that's the really exciting thing about the boyfriend tank. So I also brought my maxi skirt because I would never wear this to the office as it is. It's too long. I don't work in, the entertainment industry. I work in finance. And so I find that it works very nicely on top of my long sleeved 2-in-1 with my boyfriend tank over it. So you're not seeing the layer. It's, I'm not going to put it on, but basically I would wear it over my 2-in-1 and then I'd put my boyfriend tank over it. So then it's kind of this long, flowy look that has different layers. It's also it's not so form-fitting. I don't like to be form-fitting at work. I wear this maxi skirt so many ways. I often will just wear it as a scarf like this, because then if I have a gala in the evening, I can just switch it up. I wear it a lot, like Kimberly was saying, overwards. So even at work, I'll have it with me. I'll wear it like a scarf around my neck, and I'll just put it on like this. I don't like too many layers. Sometimes I get hot. This way I've got some options for how I do it. I don't usually wear it down, but I can. It looks great on camera like this. I can really change how I'm looking. You can see my jewelry is now not showing. I often don't like to have my jewelry showing when I'm on camera. And of course, if I get cold and want to go outside, I've got a little hat. Very, very, very useful. So these are my 2 kind of go-to pieces that I almost never wear the way they were on the shelf. So I've never worn this as sort of a strapless dress. It's not my style, but I wear it a lot. I wear it out. And I think this one I got a little bit longer than usual, so that when I wear it as this sort of underlayer underneath my boyfriend tank, I still have some leg coverage. I wear my my leggings like tights. So I'll often wear them under a dress. I wear them with boots. I wear them with socks. I wear them to the office, and I just act as if they're tights. So because I work in finance, I like to have a little coverage, and it's good for the environment because stockings just really don't decompose unless they're made of spider webs, and I don't have those. So Kimberly, thanks again for having me, and I'll turn off my mic and give it back to Melinda.
Thank you, Barbara. And yeah, you guys, Barbara is the queen of customization. She'll be like, and I want this a little longer and this a little shorter and no tag here. And so it's really great because Renee can do that again, because things are made to order. So yeah, thank you. All right, the lovely Melinda, who again, you've seen all over the website. She's amazing. Revels in all things creative while being kind to the earth. You will find her dabbling in all manner of creative endeavors, surrounded by fabrics, paper, paint, and glue. You'll often find her wielding a camera, shopping thrift and vintage stores, digging in the dirt in the garden, stirring a pot on the stove, or choreographing a dance, all while dressed comfortably and chic in her TDJ. So I'll turn it over to Melinda, and while she's chatting, I'm gonna go get on the little piece that is our surprise, and then we will finale. So thank you guys. Thanks, Melinda.
Hi, everybody. The light is a little wonky because we're having a mix of sun and clouds. So hopefully you'll be able to see okay. I am actually wearing Kimberly's uniform today in a slightly different way. I have on, as she mentioned, a brooch holding mine closed so that it's more of a Grecian look. I've got long tails here in the front, and I have belted mine as well. I work in the office, but I'm in a environment unlike Barbara. I'm in travel and tourism and economic development, and I can be a little more free with my style. So I would wear this like this. I also would wear this belted as Kimberly showed you. But I also, the difference that I have in how she wore her 2-in-1 fitted, I have on the Palazzo Pants, but I've taken and pushed up my 2-in-1 fitted and put it over just a standard white button down. That way it breaks up the color a little bit, but it's also just adds a little difference so that I'm still wearing the same pieces. And if I wore this outfit tomorrow and didn't put the shirt on, no one would know, especially if you do travel or you're going to different events, and you can mix and match that way. So you could put a tee or anything else under it, and it just looks completely different. No one knows the difference. Like Barbara, I'll switch it up. The same look, add a blazer, and I would probably tend to put something with color on it just so it wouldn't blend in so much. But with a blazer, it looks even more, buttoned up so that if you have a meeting, you still look polished. And as Kimberly does scarves, I love scarves as well. You can just tuck all this in and you have a nice, very covered up, if that's what you need. So you can go back and forth between the covered up. And as everyone mentioned, Renee does a lot of customization for me. I'm a little bit fusty, so she will make sure that things are high enough for me or give me a little cap sleeve. I'm a little bit on the shorter side, so she shortens things up for me. The fabric flows nicely over curves. It is very versatile. Mix and match it with what you've already got, and your wardrobe will grow exponentially without adding a whole lot of different pieces. And it wears so well. I love TDJ. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Melinda. And don't you love it? The dogs come out like just when you're like, of course they do. They're like, I want to be on camera. Awesome. Okay. Well, before I show what I want to mention just real quick, as we think about kind of styling your Tranquility every day, which I have to say was Carol's idea. which I love. I've mentioned Carol a lot, lots of shout outs to her. She's been a huge support of the clothing line. So ways to style your tranquility every day: dressing with less, focusing on the essentials, making daily dress up a ritual, right? So how can we make it fun? One of the things we talked about last week on in our annual program, we had Leslie Ware, who you may have heard her on the podcast. She's a beautiful woman in New York City. She was actually a model for the line back in 2012, but she was talking about how you make your closet like you're shopping a boutique, right? So you make it where it's like nice to kind of go into and look at. So again, making daily dress up a ritual, of course, playing with accessories and infusing your style into all you do. So those are ideas on how to style your tranquility every day. All right, so let me show you this dress, which I saw on Instagram. Sarah Jessica Parker was wearing it, and it was like everywhere. And I was like, oh my gosh, we have done this dress. We did it for my book launch in 2013. And then we did a skirt like this. But what I did is just kind of shifted it, made it the one shoulder because I loved the look on her. And so let me show you this piece, which I just think is so fun. So it's ruched, which I don't know if you can kind of tell. It goes right below the knee again, and it has a little lift in one side. And great for, again, you can wear a blazer over this for work. You could wear your fun little strapless shoes for a cocktail party or holiday. And, you know, you can even put like palazzos under it, right? So there's many ways to kind of layer and, you know, accessorize this look. And what I really like about it too, is you may know this, but with rouging, you can adjust it, right? So I can even make this shorter. I can make it a little longer. And, you know, it just gives you an idea. I think it flatters all figures. The rouging is just like, it's so great. And it's so freaking cozy. But isn't it sweet? So again, I texted her on Friday. I'm like, Renee. And so she whipped it up and she brought it this morning. God bless you, Renee. So anyway, this new piece, it's not available yet, but it will be. And we're only going to do 30 of them. So it'll be a limited edition. And if you wanted it though, if you're like, oh my God, I have to have it now, just email me and I can totally help you. Like we can get it on order for you, get it started, but it's just not up on the website yet because I have to get a photo of it. I just got it this morning. All right, ladies, thank you so much for being here today. A big thank you to Tim for playing tech support of getting Melinda and Barbara in.